you, but women use the soulmate, the twin flame thing to excuse a man's bad behavior. And then you look at, okay, can these two people climb into a BMW and drive 3,000 miles and, you know, take the high road and get the good weather conditions and all that. And that is what you see in the Kuda technique. So of course, what we were taught by our genius teacher is that there's 5 critical steps. So it's 15 steps that you relate between two people. 5 of them are the most day-to-day, can your lives work together? Can you get your needs met? Mm-hmm. And then 3 are the most special. And these 3 special steps show, is there enough meaning? Is there enough glue? Is there enough of that secret sauce that is there enough of what we all long for? Yeah. That makes people say, this is my soulmate or this is my twin flame. Yeah. I want to do a little twin flame sidebar.
Go for it.
So I got a lot of email from people saying, Carol, I think this is my twin flame. Tell me, you know, this isn't just a soulmate, they would say, as though a soulmate is so like not a big deal, right? Not enough, right? And then they say, so I took a day and I researched this twin flame thing. Like, what the heck is a twin flame? So twin flames, apparently, from what I've read, and I'm no expert because I don't even like the notion of them, are rarely in the same life at the same time. They are 2 sides of the same soul that at some point became split, and they are often each other's guardian angels. So when one is incarnated, the other is in the other realm looking down, right? And vice versa. And they rarely incarnate at the same time. And when they do, and if they do, they have such an intense connection and they feel such an incredible pull that it's actually too overwhelming and it's very hard to be with that person. Yeah. Because they pull forward and out of you all your darkness and everything you need to heal and learn and everything you need to develop within yourself. And so it's the very person that is the most painful. So they're like the most blissful and the most painful to be with. And so, but you grow like never before and you feel spiritual heights like never before. Oh my God. Okay. First of all, that sounds like everybody's high school sweetheart, right? Like that's like that level of intensity is so exhausting and so brutal. And I don't know about you, but I don't want all my darkness flying around all the time. Like I like it in little dribs over years. Mostly I just want to love it and stuff it in a box and put it in the closet. I mean, I'm kidding, but enough about me. But yeah, so that's the twin flame, and it supposedly makes soulmates. And there's only one twin flame because you only have one person, or, you know, in all the world that can be half of your soul. Yeah. Whereas soulmates, there's many. It can be a pet even. It can be your grandmother. It's not necessarily a sexual relationship. It can be like friends, family, pets. And that when you marry your partner with a soulmate, it's like you speak the same language, you have an emotional shorthand, they get you, you get them. And there's a level of familiarity and comfort that is so rich and deep and beautiful, okay? So the reason I hate the twin flame thing is, hello, in my experience, people don't make enough effort around love as it is. And with the advent of internet dating and dating apps, we have this notion that love is everywhere and it's like leaves on the trees, and that if you're not satisfied in a relationship, who cares? You can easily get another one, right? We've all become disposable. And we all have these incredible standards that are so hard to fulfill in terms of the laundry list, the stuff on paper, like, oh, well, he has to be tall, and he has to be rich, and he has to have gone to a great school, and he can't be divorced, and he can't already have children, and he better like dogs, and so what we're finding, and I know you know this, is more people are single now than ever, and relationship satisfaction is not great. And it's a big hookup culture now, and there's a lot of pain. And so, please, if you trip over a lowly soulmate, people, grab them and hold on tight. Okay, do not hold out for this person that's going to be so intense and so agonizing, and who you may never meet because they might not be on the planet today.
It's true.
Yeah. So I don't mean to offend anyone. I just don't like the whole like twin flame.
No, it's totally fine, because I read about it, I heard about it, and it was like, I got to do more research on this, and I want to understand more. And I didn't understand where it was coming from, but in the corporate world, we never hear stuff like this. So it was a very foreign language that I have to emerge into, but I also have to test it out to understand what they were referring to.
Well, and in my experience, not to interrupt you, but women use the soulmate, the twin flame thing to excuse a man's bad behavior.
Oh.
They'll say, but he's my twin flame. And I'm like, but he's sleeping with your sister. Okay. Like, but he's drunk all the time, but he's can't pay his own bills, but he's like totally mean to you. Right. Yeah. So, you know, I run into a lot of lovely spiritual people misusing spiritual concepts to excuse things in their lives that they need to change or that they should not be accepting. And I cannot emphasize that enough. And you know, in the sidereal zodiac, I am a Capricorn, and this is where I feel very Capricorn. Yeah. I am very like, if it doesn't work and you can't prove it, get it out. Okay. Like,
you know, it's so funny when you say that. I have Venus aspect Saturn, and my Saturn is pretty nice.
Okay.
So realistically, like reality check. Like, let's get it back down here.
Yep. Practical. Absolutely. It grounds us, you know, because we can get very long as spiritual beings, but we're in a body, and we have these personalities that can be very difficult. And, you know, and what I find with spiritual people too, is they connect so deeply with other people's souls. Like when you're a spiritual person, you have a way of sensing and perceiving things at a deep level. And it's a beautiful thing. And I love this. I'm not making any fun of this whatsoever. And you can connect with people at their essence, which is awesome. And people's essence is encased in this thing called a personality. And everyone's essence is great, right? Because everyone is from the spark of divinity, right? We all have divinity, and I believe like we're all from the greater whole. And but as a personality, you might have things that are absolutely not divine, and that need healing and need developing, and that you know. So again,
No,
so
I get
sorry, you asked me 20 minutes ago to talk about the CUDA technique. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I know it seems like I've had a lot of caffeine this morning. I actually haven't had any. Believe it.
I just love your energy. We can go with the flow, and and just getting to the point. I think it's all about putting love as a message, because we were never taught anywhere about love. We never really got the choice of being educated. We're in love. We got a choice as a woman, especially in today's society, that we get to choose our career, choose our education, but we never been taught how to love except for our parents. And if that doesn't work out, where do we go to?
Well, we were taught actually conflicting things. We were told that love should just magically happen.
Yes.
And that we didn't have to do anything, right? That we could just sit back, and it would we'd trip over that handsome stranger someday in some crowded room, and we would just know. That's the other thing. We're supposed to just know.
Yeah.
And then we were told to pour ourselves into our careers and have it all. That's the other thing. We're supposed to have it all. And no one told us that actually, in fact, you should treat your love life like a job. And you should pursue it like you would pursue a job. And that if you passively wait and then put how you feel about things ahead of what's happening, you're going to go long periods of time alone, or you're going to trip over people kind of randomly that you're going to connect with, but they won't necessarily be good for you. But because we're not made of wood and we have human needs, and we have needs for companionship and love and connection and sex and all that, how do we say no when we trip over some bozo? How do we say no? And then as women, we're actually designed to not say no. Estrogen makes us be too agreeable. And then culturally, we're told to people please and to make nice. And lovely Asian women like you, even more so, not to slur, but, you know, I almost wrote a book for women trying to cross cultures, because I had so many lovely Indian and Asian clients who were told to be even more passive and to become a doctor by 24. And then, oh, gee, now you're too old. And you better hurry up and get married, but don't make any effort. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, and then don't leave the culture to marry, even if you're in America. Like, marry an Indian guy, marry a Chinese guy, marry, and you know, the Jews are this way too, marry a nice Jewish boy. Yeah. But, oh, by the way, you've put no time into it. And, oh, by the way, you better not pursue anyone. And it's just like, and, you know, and by 27, you're an old maid and forget it. Yeah. So, I mean, I had a lot of women on the verge of suicide like that coming to me. And I'm like, sweetie, your chart says you're for sure going to get married, but not till 35. And to them, that means they're going to be disowned, right? Or they're going to be the loser in their family. And they often can't wait, so then they marry the wrong person. So, yeah. Yeah. So.
I hear you, and I see
it's a mess. It's a jungle.
It is. So, you know, I hop into this, you know, going to the corporate world, seeing all the divorces, and that's where I saw it for the last 7 years. I was like, wow, this is an industry that needs to be definitely retaught, because there's more divorce than ever before. Right. And relationships don't last over 2.5 years, and that's the sad part.
Well, and to your point that we're not taught this stuff, studies have proven that when we're taught this stuff, divorce goes way down. Yeah. And it's not actually therapy that helps couples, even though it can, of course. But that the thing that really helps couples is information. And the thing that really helps singles is information. Yes. So many people say to me, oh, relationship coaching, like, that's not a thing, and nobody really needs that. And you can't take a seminar and then find a guy. And I'm like, oh, really? You have no experience. I mean, I have so many colleagues with so many amazing stories of like getting people in wheelchairs married, getting people, you know, men that are 5'2" married, getting women in their 80s married, getting people 400 pounds married. I mean, it's like, I don't care what you think is wrong with you. Yeah. If you do the right strategy and take the right actions and put yourself out there, and then the astrology piece is at the right time, you know, then, so.
It all comes together. Definitely. Let's go back to doing the, you know, the techniques of Buddha.
Yes. So the thing that they compare in India, you said, of course, it's not sun signs that are the big deal. Sun signs are a big deal in that if you have connections with your sun sign and someone else's chart in a powerful way, that can be very bonding. Like if your sun is with their moon, or your sun is with their rising sign, or your sun is with their Venus, like it's not that the sun doesn't matter at all. It's just the thing that's the foundation of it all, the compatibility of two people's moon signs. Because the moon is the reflection of your energetic emotional body, right? And your energetic emotional psychology and how you relate to someone else. And I don't know why this works so well. It works so well. I mean, when I learned this technique from Ernst and I started using it, it just took my readings from like high school to like MIT grad program. I mean, it was like unbelievable. I mean, I could tell a total stranger everything about their relationships, and just by looking moon to moon. And then when you add synastry and all that other fun stuff, it's incredible. But so it breaks, like I said, it breaks a relationship down into 15 steps. The first 5 reveal the day-to-day practical, can your lives be joined?
Yes.
And the first one of the 5 that's so important, and I'll use the American terms just so we don't bore everybody, is called obstacles. And obstacles has to do with, is there outside support for your relationship? Do your friends like the other person? Do their friends like you? Do your families like each other? Do you want to live in the same place? Can you both get work in the same region? Does somebody have health problems? Does somebody have financial problems? No kidding. There are relationships where when 2 people come together, it throws that energetic off, so that there's always some sort of outside interference. And the thing that's heartbreaking about this one is it has nothing to do with, do you love each other? You might really love each other, but every time you turn around, there's another fire to put out. You know, his mother's in the way. Okay, woo, okay, she just moved or she died. Yay, that's over. Oops, now he got a job across the country, but you can't leave yours. Or, you know, okay, he came back from the job, but now you have all these fertility problems. Okay, you fixed all your fertility problems and you used modern science and you had a baby, but now your husband can't get a job at all. And so now he's Mr. Momming it and you're working all the time and you're exhausted. And, you know, so like every time you turn around, there's something pulling you apart, getting between the 2 of you, weakening your relationship. And it's very, 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 very painful. This one is very, very painful. You can't outthink it. You can't work around it. You can't fix it. It's just what is. The next one is the other of the 2, like worst, most painful. And this one's called misfortune. Now, it's kind of a misnomer. People always think, oh no, it means we're going to be really unlucky together. It means like every time we turn around, there's going to be some huge disaster. There's going to be like an accident or a robbery, or like we're going to lose all our money in the stock market. It actually doesn't mean any of that. It means there's so much drama that is created between you that you start screwing up. So you start driving badly and you start making bad decisions with the stock market. It's that you get so rattled and destabilized by the relationship, both of you, that stuff starts going wrong just because you're so off. And what I find with this one is couples will feel like really pulled to each other. It's weird. Like they'll feel really drawn to each other, but then they have like these huge, almost like tsunamis that come and hit them. And so they like cannot keep connected. They just cannot keep connected. These are the couples that I see that fight the most or that get annoyed the most. And again, it's like they're driving down the road and then they hit a pothole and then they're in a ravine and they're like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Just when they think everything's fine, something disrupts them. Yeah. Now, I should say there are things that nullify both obstacles and misfortune.
Yeah.
But I have rarely seen it make enough of a compensation for couples to be happy. I still don't find couples happy. So I still try to like nudge people away from these relationships. And then the next one is called respect. And respect has to do with, this one is also, it absolutely has to do with respect, but I call it more who's the leader.
Yeah.
In this one, it's really about who gets inspired first in the relationship.
Yeah.
Who's the person initiating?
Yeah.
Who's the person saying, hey, let's go here, and hey, let's do this, and hey, let's go away this weekend, and hey, let's meet each other's families, and hey, let's live together, and hey, let's get engaged, and hey.
Yeah.
And typically, women want to be wooed, right? And women want to be attended to.
Yeah.
Women want to feel like the man is the leader. We just do.
Yes.
It's not fair. It's not even modern thought, right? but it's just reality. Women want to feel like the man is pursuing.
Yeah.
And when the dynamic is such the woman is the leader or the respect is off, the woman is the pursuer. And it's confusing because men have been socialized to pursue. So at first, often the man will, and women will say to me, God, it's so weird. At first he was doing everything, but as soon as we got into it, it's like he relaxed, and I'm always the one like calling him or making the plans or and it's because it makes a woman have a faster process when this one's off. So men always feel like no matter what they do, it's not enough, and the woman's never happy. And women really feel ultimately that like the man isn't really as bonded to her as she is to them. So like famous couples that have had this are like Charles and Diana. He was the leader. Jen and Brad.
Yeah.
She was the leader. Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Philippe, however you say his last name.
Yeah.
She was the leader. So the rumor there was that he was always out and she was always home and felt neglected. So it's just interesting. It's really interesting. Jackie O, JFK, and Jackie Kennedy. I guess she wasn't Jackie O when they were married. But yeah, and it makes a woman also feel like the man isn't as sexually bonded to her. So that one's pretty painful. That one's not a deal breaker, but it's not ideal.
Yeah.
And I do find when the woman has a more masculine nature and she sometimes doesn't mind. I've seen that a lot, but I've never seen a couple where they didn't know it. Whenever I say, is everything your idea? And I point to the woman, both of them laugh and they go, oh my God. Yeah. So what I love about all these techniques or all these parts of this technique is it takes a lot of the blame and shame out of it. Because we'll have a story. Well, if I'm thinking of everything first, it means I love him more than he loves me. No, it means you're inspired first. It means you have a faster process. It means you're the leader in the relationship. It has nothing to do with that. The next one has to do with like, it's the relationship of the moon signs. It's similar to the one I just talked about. It's which one, what's the relationship? Is his moon following yours or is your moon following his? And there are different, if his is following yours, it sets up a karma where things work. And when this one's off, it can make it so, one of them says there will be widowhood. Okay. So like JFK and Jackie had that. How weird is that? Right? It'll say things like you can't create together, like you can't have children together, you can't make anything, you can't do big projects together. It sets it up so the woman won't like anything the man proposes.
Yeah.
By the time he proposes something, you know, she never feels comforted by his ideas. I mean, it's so interesting, this one. It's so interesting. And then the last of the 5 has to do with temperament. So there's watery, windy, fiery temperaments. This isn't about like what sign you are. These are about these smaller constellations within the 12 Greek signs. And there's not Earth, because people are always like, oh, we left out Earth. And in this technique, Earth doesn't apply. Now you would think it would be good to be with somebody if you're watery, they're watery, or if you're fiery, they're fiery. But in this technique, it creates an overabundance of that element, whatever the element is. And so you don't want 2 watery people together. You don't want 2 fiery people. You don't want 2 windy people. 2 watery people become way too emotional and sensitive to each other. So interesting. I'm a watery person, and I had a friend of 20 years a girlfriend who we always were easily hurting each other's feelings. And I'm very direct and straightforward with my friends, but I never felt like I could be with her because I always felt like when I was, it just got off track. And she would like keep things from me and like not tell me all these times I'd hurt her feelings that I had no idea about. And you know, and we had so many other lovely things that kept us happy. But finally, after 20 years, on a bad day when Mars was on my Mercury, I said the thing that she could not get over, right? And then we just had like an email thing where I got like this catechism. I got like this list of all these times I'd hurt her feelings. I had no idea. And the things that had hurt her in my way of seeing life and the world were things where I was actually being helpful and acknowledging her and celebrating her.
Yeah.
But they embarrassed her and they made her feel like I don't even know what. But so I have seen this be so crazy amazing. Two couples that are fiery together, they fight like crazy. They cannot keep the peace. I'll say to people, have you fought with this person more than you've ever fought in your entire life? And they'll say, you have no idea. Like, it's just the wildest. And then two windy people overthink everything. They can't make a decision. They have like spreadsheets and lists and pro and con conversations, and nobody can like just execute. Nobody can just like make a...
If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends, because sharing is caring. If you want my help in your relationship or dating situation, you can always book a time with me. Check out the link below. To stay in touch, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell button so you can be notified when I post new videos. Please go ahead, hit the like button, because it encouraged me to create more contents like this every week for you. If you have any ideas for a video, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.